What are you about? What is your life about? Do you have some bigger purpose? Who is around you? What emotional traps are you in? What work structures are you in? Do you like these people? Does this put you where you want to be? Do you have an idea of who you're supposed to be? Are you being that person? These are the tensions that are brought up by this moon. Think about generally December through March and think about what was going on in your life. Very likely there was something that was reaching a culmination point, some tension that was building. It wasn't something that started then, it was something that was building and then really came to your attention then, and then it dissipated for a while, and now that Saturn's turned direct again, it's back. Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This full moon is in your 10th house and your first house. So first house, house of self, self-development, self-image, physical body. 10th house, career, public reputation, how others see you. So here's the tension between how you see you and how others see you. And where is that tension meeting in your life? Are you the kind of person who is one type of person in private and another type of person in public? Is there congruency in who you actually are? What are the values that you live in your personal life? Are you able to take them into your public life? Are you able to take them into your work life? And then here's where a lot of the tension comes. For a lot of people, is you are this kind of a person, and yet you work for a company that has values that are different than your values. It makes you sick. It will slowly erode your soul. So if this is what you're going through, this is not your imagination. Conflict manifests physically in the body, and it manifests as sickness. Are you living those hours of the day that you spend working? Are you living what you are supposed to be living? If it's like how you have to make money, that's something, but are you living counter to who you are? Are you living or working in a company, spending 8 to 10 hours a day with all of your mental energy, all of your physical energy going to something that you are adamantly opposed to? Something that you don't believe in, something that's philosophically against what you are about? Pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. And in the public realm, are you pretending to be somebody you are not? And why do we do that? What would happen if we stopped doing that? Oh my God, what would they say? Oh my God, what would your career look like? And so what if it looked different than it does now? What is chaining you? Actually, 10th house, that's this. Literally, what is chaining you to the life that you don't want? What would happen if you went a different way? And I'm not saying that you should go a different way, just consider what would happen if you did go a different way. What would that say about you? What do you feel like your work says about you? How much does it define you? That brings us to the very first energy that we're looking at, the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. Saturn is structures. Think about the most overwhelming, oppressive kind of feeling and energy you can get. I'm laughing, it's not funny. That's Saturn. It's the thing that crushes you. Think governments, think world structures, things that are so big and so enormous that the idea of going in, just even having a conversation with these things, just to be able to go, it's too much, it's too overwhelming because they're too complicated. That's the oppressiveness of Saturn. That's the oppressiveness of what this energy is like. You don't even know where to begin. So these are the things that chain us. These are the toxic relationships that our families are built on. These are the ideas of what friend circles are supposed to be like. This is the idea of what my career is supposed to look, what my money is supposed to look like, how I am supposed to show up in the world, who I am supposed to be. They chain us. They keep us captive. Now what Pluto is asking for, Pluto wants us to turn around and look at what's going on, but we might not like what we see, thus the tension. So Saturn is everything of this world and everything that binds us to this world. Whether or not we like it, it's just how it's always been. And then Pluto is Hades. Pluto's from the underworld, so Pluto's not even of this world. This shit doesn't even make any sense to Pluto. So it has no problem coming in and saying, look what you're doing. Is this what you have in mind for yourself? Is this what your life is about? Is this what you want to be? And that's the tension. The second outlier is Mercury and Scorpio. Mercury is the way that you think, and it's the way that you speak and communicate. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, so Scorpio is looking at the depths. Scorpio is looking at transformation. Much like Pluto, it's not here to hurt you, but it will make you face the naked truth of what is going on. You will look at something squarely in the eye. You will look at the reality that you're facing. You will look at the reality of the situation, the people, the structures, the emotional instability that you are in, and you will not be able to see anything other than the reality of what is there. Mercury in Scorpio is about transformation. It is done with bullshit. It is done with your excuses. It is done with all of the things that we do to justify what's going on. And it's the same thing as when you're talking with somebody else. I actually have this placement. I am not interested in your small talk. I am not interested in the dumb things that you have to say. I'm interested in getting someplace in the conversation. And this is what Mercury in Scorpio is. So we just came from Mercury in Libra, which is trying to make friends and trying to make everybody feel comfortable. Mercury in Scorpio is not trying to do that shit. Mercury in Scorpio is done trying to make friends. Mercury in Scorpio wants to get someplace. This brings us to the moon. This nakshatra is in Uttara Bhadrapada. What that is the serpent of the deep. So, in some situations, a truth will emerge and it's fiery, it's explosive. You can say, oh, well, maybe that came out because we were all very upset. This is not that energy. This energy, think dragon, think water, think slow, think deliberate. Think when water washes over something, what's left? Just what is supposed to be there. Only the strongest foundational elements will remain after the strength of water has pushed through everything and cleansed everything. And that's the energy of right now. It's not a fiery thing, it's a watery thing. Water is emotional, it's calm, and you are calmly looking at what is around you. When everything has been falling away, now you are seeing it clearly. Now you're willing to speak on it clearly. That's where you're sitting. So this card, this is a person who looks at something dispassionately. You see the reality. On the other hand, you saw your attachment to it, and you can see them both for what they are. And you can see the separation of them. What Uttara Bhadrapada is asking us to do is separate the material from the spirituality. The material of this world, the bullshit that we've lived in, the Saturn things that have chained us, the things that we don't like, the things that aren't us, the things that we don't want anymore. We've looked at them squarely in the face, and now this is saying, look at it and really take it in. This isn't the time that you necessarily have to do anything about it or take any action on it, but you're looking at it, and the important part is that you don't try to talk yourself out of it. Because what you are seeing is the reality. Again, it was building before, earlier this year. January 12th is when Saturn Pluto first came direct and just hit you with something. And so it's not necessarily that day, but just within that time frame. And so there's this tension that was building. And then obviously we got very sidetracked with COVID. We had other things on our mind. Well, now the situation is coming to a head where what we were looking at before, this is still part of our lives right now. And if we're going to get to a different place, if we're going to get to be the people we want to be, it has to change. You don't have to make a decision today, but the important part is to realize that there is a difference between the material and the spiritual. And you have to make your choice what side you want to be on. Where are you going? What is your life about? Who are you? What are you about? What this year has been excellent for is stripping away the superfluous, all of the distractions and all of the other things you could do to take your mind off where you live, what you do, how you spend your time, how you think, what your values are, who's around you, what structures are you stuck in. With the elimination of the external, then you really have to look inside. This may have been uncomfortable for you. This may have been very comforting for you, on the other hand. It could go either way. But what this year continues to ask you to do is evaluate what the hell you are doing with yourself. Does it matter? If it doesn't matter to you, probably not watching this video. But since you are watching this video, it does matter to you. And there is something better on the other side. There's always something better on the other side. That's not always comfortable in the moment. David Palmer referred to something as what's personally friendly versus what's destiny friendly. And that's really what this moon is forcing us to look at. What are the difficult interpersonal situations that we are going to have to face in order to be the person that we want to be, in order to step into our destiny, to step into our character, to live who we are? Let me know in the comments what is going on with you. If there's any conflict I can help you with, I'll be happy to do it. This is a difficult time. Be kind with yourself. This shit's hard. Don't let anyone tell you different, right? You take good care.